Hey, it's Neve of the Stay at Home Family, and today I'm going to talk to you about dumb Starbucks. And my chair is slowly spinning. No, I was just watching a video online about the new art parody shop out in Los Angeles. There's a whole shop that's set up exactly like a Starbucks, the only difference being that in front of everything it uses the word dumb. And by including the word dumb, they aren't infringing on copyrights and trademarks. They are instead being a parody of the real Starbucks, so they can get away with it, which is kind of hilarious, very tongue-in-cheek. I was watching this and thinking, how do I feel about this? You know, I used to work at Starbucks, and I was working at Starbucks kind of right up until I went on to maternity leave, and while on maternity leave, made it permanent leave by building a home business. And I was thinking about, as I was watching this man talking in a green apron that also included the word dumb, and my gosh, I want one of those. I was just thinking about the fact that as I worked there, I used to always feel really icky about Starbucks in general. I used to be like, oh man, this stupid boss is making me feel bad. And by the way, if you're one of my bosses watching this, I had several. I'm not talking about you. I'm clearly talking about one of the others. So, oh my gosh, my boss is being a bitch, or oh my gosh, they are expecting me to work extra hours, or they've cut down the amount, this was the tough one, they've cut down the amount of people that we can have because they're not making as much money, so now we all have to work harder, but the standards are supposed to be exactly the same when we have less people to do the work, and all these like little frustrations would bubble up for me, and I would feel like all my problems in life and all the reason why I was in this situation was all their fault. But here's the thing, and actually funny enough, this is my store partner bonus pen. I remember when they announced store partner bonus and they were like, you're going to be able to get a bonus if you hit certain targets, which were completely unhittable. And I was like, oh yay, maybe someday I'll make some extra bonus money. Never happened. But anyway, I've totally lost track of what I was saying. Oh yeah, so I used to blame them. I used to be incredibly frustrated with them because I was unhappy in my life. Now what was really cool is when I realized that I had chosen them, and that the reason I was in Starbucks and the reason I was in the current situation was because I had chosen that situation. I had gone in for an interview. I had asked them to allow me to work for them. I had signed a contract saying I would do what they asked of me. And then when they asked tough things of me, I would get all frustrated and like, why are you asking me to do that? Why aren't you making this easy? Why aren't you paying me to have an easy time here like it was right at the start before, you know, we had hit some economic difficulties? Why aren't you treating this like I'm more important than your business? You know, like, really, it's kind of silly when you stop and think about it. And a lot of us do that. We put ourselves into situations and then we get mad at the situation instead of realizing that we put ourselves there. We signed a contract to be there. And that, at least for me, I could have left at any time. But I was really scared that much as I hated my job, that any other job was going to be worse because there were things I liked about it. Hey, free coffee, like who's going to argue with that? Especially when you have to get up early. At least they give you free coffee and it's good and you can make it yourself and make sure it's perfect and to your specification. I still hate it. Like now when I go into Starbucks, it's not always the exact same as how I would make it, unless my friend Jade makes it. She makes an awesome caramel latte. But yeah, so you're putting yourself in whatever situation you are in. And then when you can realize that, you can tweak it. You can say, okay, well, instead of this, what can I do to get myself out? And sometimes you can't march in the next day and hand in your notice because you have bills to pay and you have rent to pay and you need the income until you can replace it. But you can take charge knowing that you are only there by choice. And that what you choose to do outside of being in your job is up to you too. And that you can use that time and you can use the energy and the extra resources you have and the feelings that you have can power you through into creating a home-based income, to creating an online income, to creating freedom, so then you can let that go. And when I realized this, and I, you know, in a way it was kind of fortunate that I was on maternity leave. I was unplugged enough to say, oh my gosh, you know, I really don't want to go back there. I really want to have this be my new reality. So then I could let it go and stop being all tied up in the details. See, when you're blaming them, you're spending a lot of time in victim mode, a lot of time feeling sorry for yourself, and you don't have control. When you blame yourself for not liking your job, when you're like, oh man, I put myself in a job I don't like, because heck, I didn't really like any jobs because I wasn't really cut out to be an employee. So anywhere I ended up feeling the same way. And as soon as you realize you are not a victim, you chose your situation, and any situation, you chose it. You know, even if it feels like someone else put you there, you chose to allow yourself to be put there, right? Because there's always other options. So now you can claim another option. You can say, okay, I'm not a victim. I put myself here. I don't like where I put myself. I'm going to go put myself somewhere else. Now you have power. From that powerful position, you can create a lot in your life. So the first thing you need to do is create a second option so that when you're in work, when you're in the situation, you know that you have this other opportunity. You have another thing that you can put your focus and your energy into, and you can choose to put your energy and efforts into creating your dream. But first you have to plunk down on something and decide that this is what will create your dream. I'll show you what created my dream, and I will lock arms with you and run right along with you as you create yours. You need to click the link right below this video and make a decision now. So I appreciate you. Stop being a victim. Take ownership. Go create a little parody in your mind of dumb whatever business that you work in. Laugh at it and then grab your dreams, because it's up to you. If it's going to happen, it's totally up to you. Click the link. I'll see you on the next page.